So we're 73 acres. Primarily, obviously, the jerseys and milking and providing raw milk to our community is our main goal. But we also have a small herd of Angus that we use to provide beef and proteins. And then we raise lamb, turkey, chicken, and pork as well. And then we also have bees. Basically, anything that we raise for our own family, we try to provide for our herd share customers as well. Growing up, we raised tobacco and beef cattle. I'm always curious about new stuff, I guess you could say. And then my dad always had a milk cow. So when we got set up here, we got a heifer calf and raised it, and of course got her bred and got her in milk. And then, the neighbor wanted some. And the next thing I know, this next person and then that person, when we went to pick up that hive, they were moving. So they were selling everything. They had a milk cow. So we bought it, and it come with all of its customers as well, because they were doing the same thing. And then it just kind of spiraled from there. I guess it kind of comes down to, is it something that I think others will want that they don't have the time to make? Because I think that's a lot of it is, do they have time? And most people don't. So that's kind of seems to be the determining factor. I think for most people, it was a convenience item that, okay, instead of getting yogurt in the store, I'm just going to add it on to my milk orders. In the past, I have made yogurt in Instapots, which works really well, but each Instapot only holds a gallon. In the past, I separated cream by hand. Now we've invested in a cream separator. Kind of the same thing with ice cream. I started with my KitchenAid, but obviously that didn't make very big batches. And so I invested in a large 2.5 gallon ice cream churn. So it was all stuff I started with kitchen items to see how it went. I just learned that a pasteurizer can also make cheeses and yogurts. You just don't set the temperature as high. So I just borrowed one from a friend. And I haven't had the chance to try it yet, but it will be an investment if it works. Most of it has been, I just try it and I throw it on Facebook. And if it's popular, then we move it over to the website. And if it's not, then okay, it's not. Like cottage cheese was something that I made for myself and I loved it, but just because I love it doesn't mean somebody else will. And I hadn't really thought about offering it until my mom and a good friend were getting it pretty regular, and just loved it. And I was like, well, okay. And so everybody's like, I just love your cottage cheese. That's one of those things that's really kind of exploded. And sometimes I don't even get enough made and I have to tell people, hey, I'm going to have to send it next week. That was one that I didn't expect to do so well. When I skimmed that cream off of there, that milk would otherwise be drank by us because we don't mind to drink skimmed milk, or it would be fed to the chickens, fed to the pigs. If I take and make yogurt out of it, then I basically have milk that I have no cost in because the cream already paid for that gallon of milk, and I've turned it into another product that makes money. I just throw it in the Instapot and it cooks 18 hours, and then I strain it and I blend it and it's done. Really, aside from a little bit of labor, yogurt is 100% profit almost. It was determined by just how much cream sales I have. That was another reason that I started into ice cream, is because we were having some extra milk. And instead of, dumping it or whatever, or discounting it a bunch, we tried out ice cream. It's all just me and my husband, essentially. We don't offer proteins to anyone except our herd share customers, because I want to be that go-to for most everything when it comes to farm fresh products, except produce, obviously. That's kind of the uniqueness of our herd share, is you can get it in glass. If they're buying it, off the shelf at the nutrition center, they can't get it in glass. They can get it in glass. They can get the add-ons that aren't offered with a lot of herd shares. And then they can even tack on their eggs and their proteins. Ground beef is by far the number one item that's tacked on. A lot of places just really kind of act like a middleman, and we don't. It's raised on our farm and it comes off of our farm. prior to having you guys manage that stuff for me, it was exhausting, not only to keep up with everything, but the communication aspect. People messaging saying, hey, I want to add this, I want to add that. And, I might be in the middle of milking cows and I may or may not have gotten it written down. And so what I found I was doing was when it was time to fill orders, I was scrolling back through Facebook messages, I was scrolling back through text messages, trying not to miss anybody. But of course, there were misses. The same deal with payments. I was having to go back and check to see if people had sent me a Venmo, check to see if people had, left cash or whatever. I kind of had maxed out, so to speak, not in terms of the products that I could provide, but in terms of the managing that I could do of that. Now I can just tell people, hey, all the details are on the website. Go to the website to read about our herd share. They'll answer questions you have. When people message me and say, I'd like to add this or I'd like to skip or whatever, I'm like, sure, just go to the website. And if you can't figure out how to put it in, click the help button. They'll help you get straightened out. Offering multiple products as subscriptions, which offers a little bit of discount. I think that has helped a lot too, that people are just like, okay, well, I can just add a yogurt every week as a subscription, or I can just add my eggs, which is big, as a subscription. Cream is a big subscription. And then if I don't need it one week, I can just skip it, but I don't have to worry about telling her, yes, I want cream this week, or no, I don't. It's just there automatically. And, I don't have to think about it. People love a sale. It's kind of funny that it goes over super well because it's not that great of a deal, but the buy 10 pounds of burger and get a pound free, you get $8 or $9 free with a $90 purchase. So, you save about 10%, but people love that one. And every time we send that out, it's 8 or 10 bundles that we sell that way. So that text messaging option or that email option, I have found seems better than the newsletter. I feel like people don't open a newsletter near as much as they do read those texts. And it's just a quick response on their part. Yes, please add it to this week's order. It's real simple for them because convenience is obviously part of it. So cream and yogurt are definitely where I would start. And eggs is a really good add-on, even if you find a neighbor or something to outsource that to, because it has been huge, way, way bigger than I thought it would be. That's where I would start. People kept asking, do you have eggs? Do you have eggs? Do you have eggs? And so for a while, a neighbor had provided, and then that just got too much. So finally I just, went and invested in 65 laying bullets. But I think that we move about 150 dozen a month.